This is Chloe from business.org. Today we'll be showing you WordPress. So we're going to build a small business website from start to finish with WordPress.com, show you how it works, and maybe help you decide whether or not you want to use it. So we've already signed up for an account here, and now we're going to create our site. One thing to note is that we are using the free version of WordPress.com right now, so we will have a few limitations. When you sign up for a subscription, they have various tiers that will give you more storage, access to plugins, things like that. So I'll point that out when those become relevant, but just something to keep in mind. So we're going to start by giving our site a name. We'll call it What the Health, and our website is going to be about health and wellness. We can type in whatever we want. And then we get to choose the goals. In our case, we're going to select sharing ideas, promoting our business, offering education, and selling products, because we're going to have a pretty diverse website. So we press continue. So up here, you can enter whatever kind of name you want to find an address, and it's going to populate with a list of potential domains. So if, for example, we put in just what the health, it's going to give us the option of a free domain that we can use, which obviously will have a whatever your keyword is, .wordpress.com, not the most professional. Or you can select from these various paid domains, or you can also link your site to a domain that you already own. So you have a few different options here. In our case, again, we're just trying to test out the actual website builder, so we're going to go ahead and use this free one for our purposes. And again, you can see that we have these different tiers of plans. So if you actually are making a website for your real small business, you'll very likely want to use either the business or the e-commerce plans. Those will give you things like storage. They will give you way more themes than the free plan does, and also will allow you to use various plugins that will make it possible to have a store, to accept payments and things like that. In this case, again, though, we're just going to use the free, so we'll start with that. So our site has been created, as it says. So we've already done the first few steps. And it's going to invite us to do a few other basic things down here. So we'll start by doing exactly what it says and uploading a site icon. And so it'll be easy. We'll just go add and choose a picture, press continue. You can crop it if you want. And so as you can see, it's guiding us through this initial setup process, which is nice if you've never used WordPress before. So we can go ahead and do things like create a site tagline. So we're all done, continue, we save, we return to the checklist. But we're going to go ahead and I think stop using this right now because we're just going to get to creating our website. So immediately right here on the left, we can click View Site to see what we have so far. So this is just using a theme that it gave us, which is pre-populated with a home, a contact page, and a blog with a fake blog post. Nothing too exciting. You can see up here, though, that we can look at it at a desktop view, a tablet view, or a phone view, so we can get an idea of how our site looks at any time. You'll also have the ability to look at various stats, see how many people have visited your website, things like that. But right now, we're going to actually skip down to Personalize and go to Themes. So WordPress is known for being a pretty customizable website builder. In the end, you can do almost anything you want with it because there's tons of themes available, and also if you know CSS or HTML, you can customize most themes to your heart's content. So this is the theme marketplace where you can see that there are indeed tons of different themes here. So you can choose free themes or premium themes. As you'll see, these premium ones generally run from somewhere to about, I would say, $40 to $80 is really common. But there is a good selection of free themes as well that you can always browse. And you can also narrow your themes by features. If you really want something like author bios or breadcrumb navigation, you can choose those. The way that it has a layout, if you want it to be responsive, you know, all sorts of things like that. Even just style, do you want something that's bright? In our case, we've defaulted to the Radcliffe 2 theme, and I think we're just going to go ahead and work with that, honestly. But if we wanted to choose a different one, you can always click on it to see all of the various features that it has. You can even try it out before you actually activate it, but we're just going to go ahead and customize the Radcliffe 2 theme. So it'll take a second to load the customizer, and then we can get started. So again, on the right side, you'll just see the website that we have, and on the left, we can make some changes. So for example, we can start by giving ourselves a logo. So we're going to go ahead and upload one. And we'll select that. It's giving us the chance here to crop it, which is nice. So we'll just make it, I think, get rid of some of that light space, crop that image. And there's the logo. We can make it smaller or larger. We'll make it as large as possible. And because we don't want to be redundant, we're not going to display our site title and tagline. And so again, at any time, we can toggle to a different view so we can see how it looks. So once we're done there, there's also this featured prompt. So when we come here, it displays a large image and some text. So we're going to go ahead and use this. And we're going to just copy and paste some text that we've already written here. Like that. We don't want a button in our case, so we're just going to delete those and get rid of it. And we're going to change our image by uploading another file. It'll take a second to upload. But as you can see over on the right here, it's going to tell us the image URL. We can change things like the title, the caption, the alt text, the description, which can help for both accessibility if people are using screen readers and can't see images, or also for search engine optimization if you want people to get found. That can help a little bit. So our image is uploaded. We'll choose that. And you'll see that it updates right over here, which is nice. We can even change whether or not we darken the image, which can help your text be more reasonable, or readable rather. And we'll just leave it like that and go back. So next thing you can do is you can add contact information, like an address. We're not going to do that in this case. There's also these style packs if you want to just use a quick shortcut to the way to make your site look different. In this case, I kind of like this one because, as you'll see, when we mouse over a link, it'll do this nice green thing, which is a pretty close color to our logo. So we'll go with that. You can also change your colors of the background. And so it has some suggestions. You can choose from various palettes, which will change your background, as you can see, as well as this header text. Honestly, I think the default, whatever it had going, probably looked the best. So we'll just go back to that. Then you can look at your fonts. And so if you want, you can change your fonts however you want them to look like. You can make them bold or light. Honestly, you have a lot of variations here. Light italic. So all sorts of things like that. You can also change your menus up here. So this primary is controlling this up top menu. So immediately we can reorder things. I want my blog link to come last, for example. We can also make it so that whenever we create new pages, they automatically get added to this menu. So we'll do that right now. You also have these content options. So this will work especially for your blog if you want to display the author or tags. I don't think that we want the author to display, but we will want featured images and we will want dates, tags, and comments. Under the CSS, as it says, you'll need a premium plan to do this, but this allows you tons of customization options because, again, as you can see, the color palette that we chose was a little bit limited. We had those options that changed both our background and our header text, but if you wanted to really customize it, this is where you could do that by putting in your own CSS code. That is definitely a more advanced option, but there's tons of resources on the internet to help you do that. WordPress.com has a lot of great forums where you can ask questions. So that's a thing that you can do if you want complete control, but you will need a plan to do that. So we're not going to bother with that right now. Likewise here, if later you want to use widgets, you can look at that. Here's some basic homepage settings. You can have it display your blog, the latest post on your blog, or just a static page. Again, WordPress is really well known for being one of the best blogging sites out there, so that's definitely why this has this option to just display your latest blog post. But I think at this point, we're pretty much done customizing. We've got our basics down. So let's go ahead and take a look at our site pages. So we already changed that one part of our home with the picture, but we're going to keep editing that. Here we have the page title. We're just going to delete that because I don't actually want the page title to show up at all. And then we can put in some text. And so again, we can just copy and paste our text. I'm not sure why that came bold, so we'll unbold that. You have the ability here to delete different elements or continue to just add text. Like that. I don't want this, so we'll remove that. Over here on the document, you can also do things like set a featured image, which will be a nice big image. You can write excerpts of your page, all sorts of stuff like that. But we want to start creating actual content here. So what we can do next is we can add a block up here. And you'll have the option to choose all sorts of different kinds of blocks. So some common ones would be paragraph, which is just what you already have. You can do headings, lists, images, things. We're actually going down to layout elements and add a couple of columns right here. And so in one of them, we're going to put doable tips, which will be our header. And this next one, we're going to write debunking the myths. And what we can do is we can change this type. We'll make that into a heading. We can make it into an H3. We'll do the same thing here. And then if we just press enter, it gives us a new paragraph block. So we can go ahead and paste in some text there. Let's go underneath. And we'll do the same thing over here. So it's starting to look good, but we actually want some images to go with these. So we're going to go right above here, and we are going to put in an image. But apparently I didn't put in the right spot, so we'll try that again. Okay, there it goes. So we'll go ahead and delete this other one. But we have an image up here, and then we'll do the same thing with the other one, and we'll upload the images that we want. One thing to note here is that earlier with our logo, it did give us the option to crop. However, at least in this case, I haven't been able to get that option, so you will want to pre-crop your images to make sure that they are the correct size, shape, all of that. So here's my image. You can see that it brought over the caption from the original stock photo, so I'm just going to get rid of that because I don't want that. And we'll upload this one again, this one too rather. The same thing, we'll get rid of that caption. You do have the option to change your image size over here. You can also link your image, or again, as it says, put all text for people who can't actually see it. We're going to make our image just a little bit bigger. There we have it. So using these columns, you can really easily create these nice attractive content chunks, which is great. And then if we want to go beneath that, we're going to add another block. And in this case, we're going to use a subscription. So we can just search, and as soon as we start searching for subscription, we get it down here. And so we have this. Again, you can edit all of these individual things with CSS if you know what you're doing. If you're like me, you probably won't end up doing that at this time. You can also edit it as HTML if you want, or just go back to editing visually. And then we're going to add another paragraph for that subscription that describes what it is. So we'll just put that right here. We'll bold that though. And we can send it up one so it comes before the subscription box. And there we have it. So again, at any time, we can press preview and change the way that it looks. And whenever we're done, press update. And we're pretty much done with that page. So again, we can go back here. We accidentally deleted that, I guess, when we changed to blocks. So let me fix that really fast. And then I'll show you what our website is starting to look like. Perfect. So up here, we can click publish. And now we can go ahead and view our site. And so again, it's just hosted at this free domain that we have. But you can see that we have this that we created. Here we have our text. We have those 2 columns. And I'm logged in, so it's just going to give me follow. But if you weren't, you would have the option to put in an email address and subscribe. And if you do that, then it gives you a little congrats email. So I apparently also somehow messed up on the logo, so I'll fix that really fast, again, by going to Customize. We'll recrop that. There we go. Make it big. And turn off that. And again, we'll press publish. And now when we refresh, we can see those changes that we made. So we have a couple things going on now. We have our home page. So it's time to start doing some edits to the actual site. So we can start by going to this contact page, which is already created for us. In this case, we're not going to use the blocks. We're just going to use what the theme is already giving us. So we have a title up here. We can set a featured image if we want so that it looks pretty. So we'll go ahead and add some nice greenery to go with some of our theme colors that we were choosing. Let that upload for a second. A long second. I think we can press insert and it'll keep uploading. So right now, let's go ahead and look at this. So we have the option to change the text here above this. We can also edit the form directly. So for example, I don't really care about people's websites, so we're just going to remove that field entirely. On the other hand, I want to edit these other ones. And so instead of just saying name, I want to ask, what's your name? And what's your email? And finally, what's on your mind? And you can change the different types, so you can ask specifically for a web address or a name or an email address, or text area will obviously be good for comments. You can also do radio buttons or checkboxes if you want them to choose specific things. So we're just going to update that. You can also add a new field right down here if you wanted to. And you can choose where it goes to and what the email address is. So let's see how our image is coming along. We'll insert that. And let's go ahead and update. So now when we go to contact, there's that picture we chose, and here's our form. So again, note that at least right now, this form isn't quite as customizable as you might find with some other website builders. I can't very easily change the color of the submit button, for example, or create a custom thank you message. Again, when you have themes that you pay for especially, or if you know some CSS, HTML, those things are super possible. WordPress becomes infinitely customizable. But just out of the box, you will have some of these limitations. So if you really want to create a website in just an hour or less and then never worry about it again, WordPress might not give you all the customization that you're looking for. It will definitely take a little bit more time and a little more effort. So do keep that in mind. So now we have our contact page all set up, but we're going to go ahead and add an About Us page. So we just add our title right here, and then we can start creating that page. So the first thing that we're going to do is add a heading. And then again, we can just keep adding content blocks. Unbold. I'm not sure why I keep bolding stuff. This is very confusing. Okay. So we have that. And then we can add more stuff. And so again, in this case, we're going to do pretty similar things we did on the home page and create columns. But one thing that we're going to do also is when we select this block, we can change the number of columns. So this time we're going to do 3. And again, you can edit the CSS, although we're not going to be doing that. So we're going to write in our headings. And then we'll put in the text underneath, just like we did on our front page. And we're going to change these to make them actual headings so that they're correct. One other thing that you'll notice is that these look a little bit cramped. So here we can change the width. So it's full width, wide width, or just back to that. So we're going to make them, I think, like that. We're also going to center our headings, as we can do over here. Over here, if you choose an actual paragraph text, you can change things like the font size, you can make a large letter, or you can change your colors both for the background as well as your text. That is really horrible. Oh, but that's nice, is that it warns you that it can be hard for people to read. So in this case, though, we're not going to do that, I don't think. We're just going to leave it clear, but know that you can. And so then we're going to do the same thing here of adding images up top. So just like we did on that home page. And again, keep in mind that you should probably pre-crop any images so that they're the size and shape that you want. And also we're going to get rid of these captions again because we don't actually want those. So now we have those columns, but we're going to keep on adding some more. So we'll just add another paragraph here. And then we'll keep going. So now we want to create a little about our team section. So we're going to create another heading. And then beneath that, we are going to make 2 columns. So just the 2 this time. And we'll do the same thing that we just did up top. And so again, you can see how easy this is. It wasn't always this easy. WordPress, I think, has gotten easier over the years. But so while it's still not a drag and drop editor, you can put anything wherever you want. Definitely these content blocks, I think, made it much easier to make your website look like you wanted them to. So we're just going to change these into headings. And then, surprise, we're going to add some pictures. And so again, you can change the size over here so that they look however you want. You can also just drag the size like that, although that won't be so precise. So you do have those options. And there we have it. So again, we can preview how it looks. And as you can see, we have those columns exactly how we made them. We have these. That picture's a little wonky because, again, we didn't crop them the way that they should have been cropped. So just keep that in mind. We're going to go ahead and click Publish on that. We'll view that page. Perfect. So in this case, though, one thing that we want to go do is make sure that that page goes to the menu. And so again, we're going to go back to Customize. And remember, we have this menus setting. We'll go to primary and add an item. In this case, we'll click the plus on the about, and then we'll reorder because we want that to be our second thing and contact before blog. And then I'll publish. Now when we refresh, we have the about and the contact on the blog. So speaking of blog, let's go ahead and go take a look at that. So rather than site pages, we're going to go to blog posts. And so again, we already have this sample post here. We're just going to trash that because we don't want it. And we're going to create our own post. So as I've already said, WordPress is a really great blogging platform. It makes it super easy. So we're just going to put in the content that we've already created. You'll notice that it's preserving all of our line breaks, it's preserving our headings and our links. So that's really nice because unfortunately not all blogging platforms do that. And so again, we have the same options here that we've had elsewhere where we can change the colors of our text or whatever. We can also go ahead and add a featured image here to go with our blog. We can put it into different categories. So if I want one that's diet, so that people, when searching through your blog category, if they just want to see all the posts on diet, can do that. You can also do tags. Generally, you can add, I think, a few more tags than you would categories because that's just the way it works. So we'll do diet, recipes, veggies, lifestyle, all of that. And again, you can choose a manual excerpt of your blog if you want, so people know what it's about. So we're just going to choose the first paragraph. Let's take a look at our image. There we go. Insert that. And on this post, we actually have a YouTube video that we want to include. So here we can again search. There's a video block where you can upload your own video or insert one from the URL. And so in this case, we're just going to copy that link, insert from URL, work perfectly. And so if we want, we can caption it or it's just embedded. And we can change the way that it displays, whether we want it aligned various ways.
Hello, friends.
We can mess with that. So we're going to go ahead and press publish. And as it says, it's now live and we can view the post. So before we do that though, we're going to go ahead and add a couple more posts just so you can see what the actual blog layout will look like once we've done that. So if we refresh and go to our blog, now you can see that it's using our featured images to really highlight our blog post. So it looks really dynamic. Keep in mind, of course, this will change depending on the theme that you're using. This is just the way that the theme that we chose is going to display our blog posts. So various themes can really dramatically change the appearance of your website. It can be something as simple as giving you a hamburger menu instead of these actual different links, or again, the way that your blog lays out. There's so many different variations, and the more that you go around and learn CSS, HTML, JavaScript, you can really create dynamic, completely unique websites. One other thing I wanted to point out is, as you can see, we didn't actually change the layout before, or the color scheme, and that is because I forgot to press publish when we did that initially. So that's one thing to always remember, is you will need to publish your changes in order to save them. It's not going to automatically save them for you. So when we go to this style pack, we had selected this one, but we hadn't pressed publish before we closed out. So now we're going to press publish, and we can see that that's going to update and stay updated this time. So now we have that fun green scroll over that we wanted. So again, at this point, we have a blog, we have a contact page, we have an about page, and now we have the fun headings and the color. And we have our home. And so we can definitely keep editing this, changing different text and colors, adding more pages, all of that. Usually in these website builds, we do like to show you how to create a store. The way that you would do that with WordPress is actually by going to your plugins. And WordPress has tons of different plugins. As you can see, some of them are for SEO, some of them are for spam, all sorts of options like that. You can definitely use various plugins to create a store. Unfortunately, as it says, we would need a paid plan in order to show you how to do that, and right now we're just using a free trial. But for example, WooCommerce is one of the most popular shop plugins. That makes it very easy to sell things, to ship things, to control your payment, all of this. And so much like the theme marketplace, you can just go here into the plugins and you can browse them. You can search for the various ones that you want, or you can just look at popular ones to see what's around. If you want Google Analytics, for example, you can add that. Some of them are honestly just silly, like give you quotes on our dashboards from various things. You can also do other things like include your Instagram feed or other social media. So you will have the ability to do all these things, but just the way that it's currently set up, we can't actually show you how to make a store. So you definitely have that option, and WooCommerce has rave reviews, as do many other shop features. And so again, we can just search for store, I guess. And you can see that there's tons of different options here. And so you definitely have those abilities. One other thing to point out is that obviously you can control all your media from here. So if you just want to delete stuff, or if you want to add tags, whatever, so you can easily find stuff, you can do that here. Under comments, you can see people who have commented on your blog. And WordPress has good capabilities so that you can send stuff to spam. You can make people wait to get approved, all of that. And so that's the basics of WordPress. Again, we're able to create a site pretty quickly, although once more, if we wanted to do all the customization that our heart desired, such as changing every single color, changing the way things look, we would probably need to learn a little bit more about CSS and things like that, or choose a different theme. So you will have those options, but you're going to have to do a little bit of legwork, I think, to get to those if that's what you want. Still, WordPress is super powerful. I think the stats claim that it's something like 1/3 of the websites on the internet are on WordPress. So it's a super powerful, super popular website builder, whether you choose WordPress.com or WordPress.org. So you would not be making a bad choice in choosing this. Just do keep in mind that it probably does require a little bit more technical know-how to get super customized. So if that's not really your jam, if you just want to create a site really fast, but also still have control over every single color, then you might want to choose a different website builder. But if you are looking for the infinite customization options and infinite control, then WordPress is absolutely the website builder for you.